told you that the entire Great Awakening was a psyop headed by controlled opposition figurehead.
Ah, man, come
It's
on.
designed to reveal any dissidents to the pro-government, pro-Israel movement of America. Be crazy. Anyway, have you ever heard of the ZEPHYR plan?
Allegedly, David Goldberg was a researcher with a White House insider source, as well as intelligence officials. David was Jewish and Zionist and was horrified in 2019 after learning of Zionist plans through White House memos and other internal documents describing two projects, Project POGO and Project ZEPHYR, a two-stage plan. For POGO, they would utilize TTID, Tag, Track, and ID. They would use this for dissidents, nationalists, patriots, anyone who would pose a long-term threat. They used YouTube gatekeepers like Alex Jones to create a space for alternative thinkers. They were all agents paid to put out truthful information to tag, track, and identify the people who were watching and interacting, basically using alt media influencers as honeypots. They then created databases of Americans who were awake. Remember, Alex Jones, Andrew Tate, and Tucker Carlson all have CIA daddies. Their targets are anti-Zionists, anti-Semites, Christians discussing Synagogue of Satan, Muslims, any Goyim who won't conform, and anyone aware of and opposing Zionist world government plans. Project ZEPHYR, the second stage, the extermination. High-value targets will be taken out through kidnappings via a U.S.-based Israeli Defense Force, or ICE. The low-value targets would be taken out through viruses or other widely applicable means. At the time, they were working on COVID. Goldberg estimated the total number of dissidents to be around 15% of Americans, and that was in 2019. He also said that if there were too many dissidents, they would then conduct power outages and purge-style attacks to take people from their homes and place them into camps. He said that they might blame it on Iran, and false flags would probably take place to make the U.S. go to war with Iran in order to further Israel's Greater Israel Project. It discusses foot soldiers from the U.S. and nuclear weapons being used in Iran. The memos also said that Donald Trump had converted to Judaism in 2017 and joined the Chabad Lubavitch Synagogue in New York and had been meeting with high-level rabbis in which these plans were discussed. These plans said several times that he would have to declare himself King of Israel publicly to symbolically declare the start of the plans. Trump is not just a Jew, according to the memos, he's a Freemason, and allegedly has been promised high-ranking positions for his children in the government that they're forming, which will be headquartered in Jerusalem. David posted his findings on his YouTube channel. His channel was then scrubbed. David Goldberg died on June 8th, 2019, in his Brooklyn apartment. He was found by his neighbor dead on the floor, with foam coming out of his mouth and no apparent cause of death. No cause of death has ever been publicly released. His friends claim that the police took a lot of his things, much more than they should have for the situation. All data about David Goldberg has been scrubbed from the internet.
I told you that the entire Great Awakening was a psyop.
Crazy, right? I want to give all praise.
Yep. Okay, this is part 2. Okay, and the edited video about psyops, blackouts, and David Greenberg, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to where I was at. Come on, where was I at, man? Come on. It won't do what I tell it to. See? God damn it. Man, I tell you. Okay. Man, come on, man. Okay. News. Wow. They took it down that quick. Shit. Okay, I'm sorry. This is part 2 of information I'm trying to put up, but they won't let me. Okay, this is what I'll do. Okay, alrighty, this is what I'll do, because I know exactly. Oh, what is that? All right, Zionist cycle, right? Okay, alrighty, this is the Zionist cycle. Okay, alrighty, fake a major attack, right? This is what they do. Fake a major attack, gain people's sympathy through exaggerated statistics, right? That's some of that Charlie Kirk bullshit, right? Compare events to past atrocities, ergo Holocaust and the 9/11. Use this to justify an invasion of the enemy, right? Right? They're using it to justify the invasion of ICE filled with Israeli Defense Forces. Now, you heard the young lady just speak. They're going to use ICE during the blackout to shut down all of the different systems, while at the same time to force compliance to taking the mark of the beast, the radio frequency identification chip, the quantum dot mechanism that they want to subcutaneously implant underneath your skin in order for you to buy and sell and to participate in a cashless society. This is where they want to go now. The fiat currency is useless on the international stage. All the nations are complicit with what's going on as far as going to a digital currency backed by gold and silver of their respective countries. America has absolutely no gold and silver, but they're afraid of losing the hegemony. The Israelis don't give a shit about the hegemony. They have all of the gold, all of the silver that America had, and all of the backing militarily. All they just want to do is just get America out of the way. They also are aware that America, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, Adawan Ratazah, that the Israelites here are awake. Kwam Yasharallah, rise Israel. That our people are waking up to the fact that they are the Israelites and the Israelis have been exposed as liars. So this is working on, like you heard the lady, the reason why they're invading Iran, they want to invade Iran. They've already toppled the government. They've already got the protests out there. There's between 12,000 and 22,500 people that have been unalived by snipers of the Israeli Defense Forces, killing innocent people on the street in Iran right now. Bibi Makowalski already has allowed the Israeli Air Force to bomb the capital of Tehran, okay, and other major cities. Okay, where all of this madness is going on. Okay? Okay, it's all about the expansion of the Greater Israel plan. Okay? Okay, move them out of the way. That also helps them expand the Ben Gurion Canal, where they wanted to do away with Gaza Strip and put down through there the Ben Gurion Canal. And on the shores of the Ben Gurion Canal, they have Trump Gaza, which is the new Las Vegas of the world. Okay, that's the plan. I'm telling you what the fucking plan is. Then, through the Ben Gurion Canal, that takes the place of the Suez Canal. Okay, and I forgot that other canal that they're having problems with Iran. Robbing oil tankers and making it hard for shipping lanes. The shipping import and export stuff into that land of Israel. They have grass because it has to be imported. They have trees because the seeds have to be imported. Okay, you have agriculturists that have to be hired in order to make the stuff grow. Other than that, it wouldn't grow there. It would be a desolate wasteland until the children of Israel, God's chosen people, are brought back there. Okay, you need to understand that. All right, Zionist cycle. Where were we at? Okay, total annihilation of innocent enemy. Right, just explained that. Okay, truth starts to come out, anti-Semitism rises, right? Okay, this is the Zionist circle. Okay, this is a vicious circle. Okay, they're going to call you an anti-Semite, which is bullshit, because it's impossible to call a so-called African-American or so-called black man here in America an anti-Semite when Jacob and Esau both come from the bloodline of Shem along with Abraham and Isaac. It goes back to our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, not Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. Esau sold his birthright, which is immortality in the kingdom of heaven, for the modern day equivalent to a pot roast. Esau, Edom, you can tell the characteristics of an Edomite because what they do is they stab you in the back, they tear you a lot of your face. If you expose them, they called you an anti-S word, okay, call you a domestic terrorist. Okay, and then they unalive you. Plus, in addition to that, as far as women, children, and old, young, and pregnant women, they stab them, they come up behind them, and they destroy them and pick on them first. This is the ideology, okay, and the characteristics of an Edomite. And this is all these goddamn devils have always done. Okay, now I could go to a biblical scripture right quick. As a matter of fact, I think I will, because it's driving me nuts. Okay, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 17. If I can get this damn thing, because Deuteronomy chapter 25, come on, verse 17, right? Never forget what the Amalekites did to you as you came from Egypt. They attacked you when you were exhausted and weary, and they struck down those who were straggling behind. They had no fear of God. Therefore, when the Lord your God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, has given you rest from all your enemies in the land he is giving you as a special possession, you must destroy the Amalekites and erase them from memory from under heaven. Never forget this. These are the very self-same words that Bibi Makowski used to justify the unaliving of the Palestinians in Gaza Strip. See? These are the characteristics of a liar. Uh-oh, liar. Well, shit, let me go back to Deuteronomy chapter 33 and 29. Okay? 33, verse 29. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, a people saved by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency. And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. Why are they found liars? Well, let's go to Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are JEWs and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. Revelation chapter 3, verse 9. Right? Behold. Damn TV, man. I don't even know. Hold on. Let me shut this shit off. Wow. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are the JEWs and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Right? Let's go get another one, proving more proof that these goddamn Edomite devils are liars. Okay? Psalms 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. Okay? A deaf adder is a poisonous serpent. They stop their ear using, right, the Zionist cycle. Right? Remember? Okay, let's go to back to the Zionist cycle. Okay? They stop at their ear, right, when the truth starts to come out, and they call anti-Semitism. Okay, I think I'll use that. Anti-Semitism, right? And anti-Semitism rises because the truth starts to come out. They fake a major attack, right? So this ICE invasion of the people is a psyop to get you ready and to place fear in your heart, so when the power goes out, they could come and kick your door in, as the young lady had just explained to you. Okay? The young lady had just explained to you, okay, they could put you in a FEMA camp overnight. Okay? Now let's go back to what I was saying about Donald Trump's punk ass. Okay? Let me see, where is it at? It was in Vanity Fair, if I can find it. Boom. There it is. Boom. Check this out. Okay, this is a continuation of part 1. Okay? Trump wants to bring back hangings and firing squads in his second term and is thinking about guillotines too. Okay? The cruel Lord. Right? Yeah, I think you guys are going to get a kick out of this thumbnail I'm going to put up on this punk. Donald Trump is a disturbed individual with a strong penchant for violence. The cruel Lord, found in Isaiah 19, right? Let's get it. Isaiah 19, verse 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, right? The unidentified area phenomenon, okay? The Lord makes the clouds the chariots of his feet, right? Okay, hold on. And shall come into Egypt, spiritual Sodom and Egypt, which is America, and the idols of Egypt, Hollywood, which is Donald Trump's bullshit, right? You know, he's got to push Hollywood and all of his military campaigns. He's got to push Hollywood and all of his CIA ops, psyops, whatever. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and you can see that now in these protests in the middle of the street, right? And they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Okay, by the unaliving of this Renee Good person and this Reggie Porter individual, and the person that just got shot last night in his leg, okay, is turning the spiritual Sodom and Egyptians, the Egyptians, spiritual Egyptians, these Babylonians, these Edomite Caucasians, cave dwellers, troglodytes, okay, those that dwelleth in caves, okay, these Edomite Caucasians, right, against each other in the street, okay? I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom, okay? They're going into all the blue cities, all the major cities in the blue states, okay, to bring this chaos. This shit is being done systematically, deliberately, and on purpose. You heard the young woman at the beginning of the video. Would you like me to video again? No. Okay. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. I'll put a video on my channels, both channels, about Davos, though the elite, going to charmers and those that deal with familiar spirits, spitting in their faces, and saying some gibberish bullshit, and hitting them with a fucking feather, and spitting in their face. All of the world leaders of the lead in Davos that are now talking about, 6G, having telecommunications implanted underneath your skin, into your bodies. Zuckerberg was there. Peter Thiel was there. Goddamn, what is the name of that guy? Damn, I keep forgetting. The one that's worth $95 billion. Peter Ellison, or whatever his goddamn name is. What's his name? The guy with Amazon was there. He just recently, right, a little bit after that, went into the reaches of outer space and low Earth orbit in one of Elon Musk's spaceships to find out what it was. They took William Shatner with them. All of that shit. Okay, yeah. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them. So this is Donald Trump, the rise of a true Sith Lord. Now, we all know about the Revenge of the Sith, right? So this is a modern-day adaptation in real life of the Revenge of the Sith. Who are the Sith? The Israeli Amalekite converts that call themselves the JOOs and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan, who are liars, okay? Our enemies, who shall become liars unto thee. They're liars. These people do lie. The Lord is going to bring them to worship before our feet and to know that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the creator of the heavens, the earth, the sea, all that is therein, the foundations of water, hath loved us, the Israelites, not them. Okay. Let's go back to Donald Trump's bullshit, right? Donald Trump is a disturbed individual with a strong penchant for violence. The biggest supporting evidence of this would be obviously his incitement of a bloody insurrection that left multiple people unalive because he didn't handle losing the 2020 election. He couldn't handle it. But there are so many smaller ones as well, including but not limited to his public encouragement of police officers to knock suspects' heads against the sides of their squad cars, his endorsement of assaulting reporters, his violent fantasies about punching a rally attendee in the face, and his reported desire to have the military shoot racial justice protesters. Right? Right? Is this not what ICE is out to do? To shoot the protesters down in the fucking street? They just shot a guy in the leg yesterday, right? Hold on. But nothing quite compares to his latest musings about bringing back banned methods of capital punishment and even videotaping it for public consumption. If this motherfucker ain't Nero, I can't tell. Nero is the same character. This motherfucker's got the same characteristics of Nero. Okay, man. Let me see. Damn it. Chat GPT. Okay, let's go to Chat GPT. Fuck it. Okay. Boom. Hold on. Okay. Let me see. U.S. law and public executions. Okay. Tacitus Nero Trump comparison. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Hold on. Where is it at? Boom. Tacitus the 15th Nero set the Christians on fire, and how that correlates to the narcissistic Donald J. Trump, and why modern-day Christians as well as Hebrew Israelites will be treated before the return of Yahushua, the Messiah. How do these actions coincide with the Noahide laws of Judaism, Israeli lobbyists, and Israeli government under Bibi Malkalski, a.k.a. Benjamin Nothing Not a Jew, or Boo Boo Not a Jew, right? Since the UK have finally agreed to push facial recognition tech with fingerprint sensors, are these the beginning of stages of the implementation of the Mark of the Beast system being set up right now, which have an RFID micro chip awaiting to be installed subcutaneous in right or left hand? And what about the Neuralink brain chip interface? Right? Okay. They couldn't understand it. Tacitus and Nero burning Christians. Tacitus, a Roman historian, records all annals of the Great Fire of Rome in 64 CE. Emperor Nero blamed Christians to divert public suspicion. Many were executed in brutal ways. Some were burned alive, some torn by dogs, some crucified. This wasn't about theology as much as politics. Christians were unpopular, a small sect easy to scapegoat. So the apostles and elders of great millstone and other righteous men, okay, the so-called black Hebrew Israelites, because black and white are social constructs created in 1681 in what is called West Virginia today, okay, because of the individuals that had taken over and set up the original 13 colonies, remember? Okay, in 1681, they created the social constructs of black and white under Black's Law. In the Black's Law Dictionary of 1910, it states any American citizen calling themselves black is a misnomer. Okay. Alrighty. Now let me go to the definition of misnomer. Alrighty. Misnomer definition. Okay. Misnomer definition. Boom. Misnomer, a wrong or inaccurate name or designation. Okay. So them calling us so-called black are wrong or inaccurate use of a name or a term. Okay, misnomer. What is an example of a misnomer? A misnomer is a name that is wrong or misleading for the thing it describes, right? Or a person it describes. Person, place, or thing, a noun, right? Okay, it is a wrong designation. What is the difference between a misnomer and an oxymoron? Okay, a misnomer is a wrong or unsuitable name for something like black people, which isn't okay. And while an oxymoron is a figure of speech using contradictory words together for effect. Okay. Okay. So calling us black Hebrew Israelites, okay, meaning that there is a white Hebrew Israelite. See what the fuck I mean? Okay. That's where I would put it in the mindset of the people. Anyway, let's go back to what Tacitus Rome, right? Okay. This wasn't about theology as politics. Christians were an unpopular small sect, easy to scapegoat. It created a pattern of state persecution of a minority or religious group for political stability, drawing parallels to modern leaders, ergo Donald Trump, right? Okay. No modern U.S. president has literally executed Christians for their faith. Trump's critics sometimes call him narcissistic or authoritarian, but legally and historically his actions do not equate to Nero's persecution of believers. The strongest parallel is rhetorical. Both used enemies to rally their base or shift blame. Okay, they both did that, right? Modern Christians, Hebrew Israelites, and persecution fears. Historically, Christians and Ish groups have sometimes faced persecution by states that see them as politically threatening. The Hebrew Israelite movement is diverse and not formally recognized like mainstream churches, so treatment varies by country. There is no global legal mechanism right now mandating persecution of Christians or Hebrew Israelites in Western nations. Okay, then it goes into no-hide laws, biometric facial recognition, RFID chips. Okay, it goes into biblical scriptures, Neuralink brain chip and computer interface, how this can coincide prophetically, infrastructure first, then a crisis, then enforcement, right? Okay, how could this coincide prophetically? From a prophetic perspective, for people who take Revelation literally, infrastructure first, ID systems, biometric trafficking, or tracking, digital currencies. Then a crisis, war, collapse, or pandemic could drive people to accept centralized control, right? They shut the power off. They shut the water off. There or go a crisis, a collapse of the money. They force you into war, okay? Pandemic, right? They're already talking about this new bird flu that is unaliving people, plagues and pestilences, right? Then enforcement, a mark or identifier required to buy or sell. Okay? Right? From a secular perspective, these technologies reflect increasing state and corporate surveillance, not necessarily a biblical prophecy. Let's go back to Donald Trump and his bullshit. Come on. See? Go back to Donald Trump and his bullshit. Wow, man. You see what I mean? Man, we're just going to kick you out because we can. Motherfucker, where's Vanity Fair I was just reading, man? See, anything to stop you, man. You motherfucking, I mean, these motherfuckers, boy, I tell you, man. Look, I can't even find it no more. See, look, told you. Goddamn godless motherfuckers, man, just took it down. Okay. Where in the fuck is Vanity Fair? Wow. You see news. Let's go get news then. You see what I mean? This is what I'm talking about, man. They took it down, motherfuckers. Man, they force you to have to go look, which is fine. I'll go look, but goddamn it, you shouldn't have to do all this extra work, man. Right? Rolling Stone reports that the ex-president, who was hoping to become president again in 2024, which he did, has recently been telling close associates that he wants to bring back firing squads, hangings, and possibly even the guillotine. Should he return to the White House, he has also apparently discussed group executions. According to a person familiar with the matter, Stephen Miller, late last year, Trump privately mused about creating a flashy government-backed video ad campaign that would accompany a federal revival of these execution methods. The videos would reportedly include footage from these new executions, if not from the exact moments of death. Wow. Okay? This motherfucker is Nero all over again, man. I'm telling you. What the fuck? We just read there's no correlation between Nero and Trump, but then what is this saying? Okay? Come on, man. All of this, of course, entirely believable. At a rally in October, he told supporters the government should execute drug dealers by shooting them and then send the bullet to their family and make them pay for the cost of the bullet. Oh, man. Okay, that's a heartless bastard, okay? To the end, a former White House official told Rolling Stone that Trump had a particular affinity for the firing squad because it seemed more dramatic rather than how we do it, putting a syringe in people and putting them to sleep. This person added President Trump would explicitly say that he'd love a country that was totally an eye for an eye. That's a direct quote, criminal justice system. And he'd talk about how the right way to do it is to line up criminals and drug dealers before a firing squad. Wow, man. Okay. During his time in office, Trump oversaw and demanded the execution of more people than any other administration in more than 120 years. And his administration executed more Americans in 1 year period than every state combined. He was also the first administration since the 1880s to put people to death during a lame duck period. And in January 2021, when it was clear Joe Biden was going to become president, executed three people in 4 days. In an interview, former Attorney General Bill Barr told Rolling Stone that had Trump won a second term, more people would have been put to death. Presumably, should he win in 2024, that will happen to at least some of the 44 people currently on federal death row. Okay, so we can just assume those 44 people have already been put to sleep, just hadn't been put on the news. A spokesperson for Trump denied to Rolling Stone that the ex-president has talked about putting out an execution video, calling it more ridiculous and fake news from idiots that have no idea what they're talking about. Asked about bringing back firing squads and other methods of capital punishment, the same spokesman denied nothing and instead referred to Trump's remarks while announcing his candidacy for president. Every drug dealer during his or her life on average will unalive 500 people with the drugs they sell, not to mention the destruction of families. He said last year, we're going to be asking everyone who sells drugs, who gets caught selling drugs, to receive death penalty for their pain. Okay? This is Donald Trump about the goddamn guillotines. This motherfucker wants to televise that shit worldwide, man. Okay? This is what he want to do, man. Okay? I mean, come on, man. Okay. Wow. God damn, this motherfucking animal, dude. This dude is an animal, man. He gotta be. What the fuck? Okay, let me go get that was part 1 I'm uploading. Let me go get some biblical scriptures on this faggot, man, because I mean, this guy, man, what the actual fuck? Okay. Wow. I'm going to cut your goddamn head off, right? Goddamn son of a dog. Wow. Matthew chapter 10, right? Verse 19. Okay, let's start at verse 16. Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. Right? So, okay. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. So they're going to bring outspoken talk show hosts, podcasters, because you already have controlled opposition. Elder Apostle Gabar, Elder Apostle Ramlab, Elder Apostle Racha, and Elder Apostle Tahar had already said these things that what is the name? Goddamn, Tucker Carlson. What is that other fathead bastard? I forgot his name. Adam Schiff, or not Bill Schiff, or Bill, whatever his goddamn name is. Okay, are controlled opposition. They're just bringing people in, throwing the truth out there to see who is on the hook, and through Project POGO, they could put tracing, which the Israeli Defense Force has allowed ICE to use this device to track and trace your telephone, your IP address, okay, as to where you live, what you eat, what your let me see. I think I had a video about that. I think I had a video about that. Hold on, let me see if I can. Okay, Salakia. I had a video about that on the other channel. I'm going to try to see if I can get that on the other channel. And then we're going to go back up. Let me see. Boom. Let's go back to on videos that were already been watched. Salakia. I apologize for this. Just bear with me. Okay. Okay. See? Everybody's reporting this shit. Here it is. Okay. About this chick running her mouth.
They will start going door to door. They will start actively looking for immigrants at every house, but they're also going to be looking for Americans that disagree with this administration. And here is how they're going to do it. ICE now has the technology to track entire neighborhoods, entire city blocks, and monitor your movements over time using your cell phone and web activity. This is from 404 Media. Here's the page itself. And these tools are called Tangles and WebLock. And ICE can use these without a warrant to track whomever and wherever they so choose. These tools were purchased specifically to track movements of entire city neighborhoods or blocks for mobile phones and devices and their owners over time, to build out a map of where you go, where you've been, where you work, where you get your groceries, and more importantly, where you at any of those music festivals, shall we say. If you didn't believe J.D. Vance when he said they were going to go door to door, believe him. This administration has been telling us what they're going to do from the very beginning, from the campaign trail. It's time we start believing them, and it's not just going to be for immigrants. It's going to be for everyone and anyone who tries to speak out against this administration. That includes you and me.
Charlotte, woman, I would like to...
Okay. See? And that's the plan with these goddamn animals, man. We try to fucking tell you what's going on. Okay, look, check this out. Verizon, massive network outage. I didn't even get a chance to finish watching that one. Okay, let's go back here and see if I can listen to this again about the chick.
A complete
Come on, man.
idiot, you know?
Let's listen to this again.
Told you that the entire Great Awakening was a psyop headed by controlled opposition figureheads designed to reveal any dissidents to the pro-government, pro-Israel movement of America. Be crazy. Anyway, have you ever heard of the ZEPHYR plan?
Allegedly, David Goldberg was a researcher with a White House insider source, as well as intelligence officials. David was Jewish and Zionist and was horrified in 2019 after learning of Zionist plans through White House memos and other internal documents describing two projects, Project POGO and Project ZEPHYR, a two-stage plan. For POGO, they would utilize TTID, Tag